Welcome back, students. Today we'll discuss about NABL accreditation, right? So, what is NABL? NABL stands for National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration of Laboratories, right? So, we have different laboratories. We have laboratories, clinical laboratories, research laboratories, hospital laboratories. So, all the laboratories, right? In order to maintain the quality, in order to define, and in order to make sure that the substances which are being tested in those laboratories are qualifying the quality standards, you should take the accreditation of NABL. So NABL stands for National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration of Laboratories, right? So what is NABL generally? NABL specifies the general requirements for the competence to carry out tests and calibrations, including sampling. It covers testing and calibrations performed using standard methods, non-standard methods, and laboratory development methods. So this NABL follows all these calibration methods, right? Standard methods, non-standard methods, and laboratory development methods. What is the benefit of the accreditation of these things, right? What is the benefit of accreditation of NABL? So potential increase in business due to enhanced customer confidence and customer satisfaction. When a customer sees NABL logo on your lab or on your labels, he will get confidence that you are maintaining the quality, and he will get even the set of satisfactory feeling. So that in turn increases the customer satisfaction, which is one of the major pillar in total quality management. So saving in terms of time and money due to reduction or elimination of need for retesting. So when quality is maintained, the issues and needs of retesting can be overcome, and in that way you can manage, or you can save not only time but also money. Better control of laboratory operations and feedback to the laboratories as they showed with sound quality assurance system, and are technically competent. So better control will be there in the laboratory operations, and it can also increase the confidence in testing, calibration data, and personal performing work. And enable accreditation, one of the good thing is customer can research and identify the laboratories accredited by NABL for their specific requirements from the dictionary of accreditation laboratory. So when your laboratory is accredited, so it can be find out through the NABL website and list of NABL accredited laboratories. Users of accredited laboratories will enjoy greater access for their production in both domestic and also in international market when tested by accredited laboratories. So users of accredited laboratories will enjoy greater access for their products in both domestic market and also in the international markets. Types of laboratory can What type of laboratories can seek for accreditation? Laboratories undertaking any sort of testing or calibration in specified fields, private or government laboratories, small operations to large multi-field laboratories, then site facilities, temporary field operations, and mobile laboratories. Note it down, children. So these are the different type of laboratories which can seek for the NABL accreditation. What are those? Laboratories undertaking any sort of testing or calibration in the specified fields, private or government laboratories, small operations to large multi-field laboratories, site facilities, temporary field operations, and mobile laboratories, right? So testing laboratories, calibration laboratories, medical laboratories, proficiency testing providers, and reference material producers. These are the different laboratories. In testing laboratories, you will have biological test, chemical test, electrical, right? Electrical, electronic, fluid flow, substances, mechanical laboratory testing laboratories, non-destructive testing laboratories, photometry testing laboratories, radiological laboratories like CT scans, MRIs, and all, right? Thermal laboratories and forensic laboratories. So all these are the different types of laboratories which can take accreditation from NABL. What are those? Biological laboratories. In biological laboratories, I hope you know, we have Apollo Diagnostics and all other diagnostic centers basically falls into biological laboratory, which will do your complete blood profile, right, and all other kind of tests. Chemical laboratories, those are the pharmaceutical laboratories or the industrial scale pharma laboratories, which will design, develop, and manufacture the chemicals and the drugs through chemicals. Then electrical or electronic laboratories, I hope you know, electric work will be done in it. New electronic gadgets will be repaired, will be manufactured, and new research will be done in electrical field. Fluid flow mechanical laboratories, fluid flow laboratories, destructive laboratories, radiological laboratories, and all these laboratories can apply for NABL accreditation. Calibration laboratories, you have electrotechnical laboratories in calibration, mechanical laboratories, fluid flow laboratories, thermal and optical laboratories, and radiological laboratories. In medical laboratories, you have clinical biochemistry and clinical pathology laboratories, hematology and immunohematology laboratories, microbiology and serology laboratories, histopathological studies, cytopathological studies conducting laboratories, genetic labs, and nuclear medicine and in vitro testing laboratories. Like we have clinical research organizations and other all things where the testing will be done on humans, on animals, on plants, right? All these laboratories can take NABL accreditation. Then proficiency testing providers like testing, calibration, medical and inspection, even these laboratories can take the NABL accreditation. Then reference materials like chemical composition producing laboratories, biological and clinical properties, physical properties, engineering properties, and miscellaneous properties. These labs can also apply for the NABL accreditation. So before saying 10-step approach for the accreditation, so in these steps we will clearly see what are the different steps and approaches for the accreditations. Let's see where does this NABL falls in government agencies and authorities, and where it's under which control and which authority it comes. So basically, this NABL accreditation comes under Quality Council of India. Quality Council of India is governed by Council of 38 members with equal representation of government, industry, and also customers. Chairman of QCI is appointed, that is Quality Council of India is appointed by the Prime Minister's office on recommendation of the government and industry. The council is the apex level body responsible for formulating strategies, general principles, constitution, monitoring of various components of Quality Council of India. So with objective to ensure transparent and credible accreditation system. So it is responsibility of QCI, Quality Council of India, which runs under the Prime Ministerial Office, will give the accreditations for NABL and maintains this NABL along with other quality councils. So with objective to ensure transparent and credible accreditation systems. Each board under QCI, Quality Council of India, functions independently with its own chairperson appointed by QCI chairperson and with the members representing various stakeholders, right? So you can see Quality Council of India, right? So Quality Council of India is governed under, yes, what? Governing body under the secretariat from the Prime Ministerial Office. Then this Quality Council of India basically have the two things, two works or two responsibilities. One is accreditation bodies, other is maintaining or promoting the quality. So under promoting the quality, it have the two separate boards, NBOP board, QIEC board. QIEC board stands for Quality Information and Enquiry Services, and NBQP board stands for National Board for Quality Promotion. So these two boards stands under quality promotion part and function of the Quality Council of India. What are those? Quality Informative and Enquiry Services, QIEC, and National Board for Quality Promotion, right? So NBQP. Then under accreditations, you have two other boards or two other responsible things. One is NABCB. So NABCB stands for National Accreditation Board for Certification of Bodies, right? And NABET stands for National Accreditation Board for Education and Training, right? So NABET, National Board for Education and Training. Then you have NABCB, National Accreditation Board for Certification of Bodies. Then you also have the one more board, that is National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers. So NABH accreditation was taken by the polyclinics, hospitals, multi-specialty hospitals, and all those things. So if your hospital have NABH accreditation, it means all the services provided by the hospital will maintain the quality, and it was issued by the Quality Council of India. So NABH accreditation was taken by the hospitals and NABL accreditation was taken by the laboratories. Okay, guys? Getting it? So we will discuss about NABL accreditation, National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration of Laboratories, which falls under the responsibility of Prime Ministerial Secretariat by the government body Quality Council of India. So Quality Council of India will have two functions, accreditation function and quality promotion function. Under the accreditation functions, it have different boards, four different boards: NABCB board, NABET board, NABH board, NABL board. NABH board is National Accreditation Board for Hospital and Healthcare Providers, and NABL board is National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration of Laboratories. Okay? Okay, guys? So take a screenshot of,
Okay, sir.
yeah, take a screenshot of this slide, which will help you.
Okay, sir.
Done? Okay. Okay, very good. Yeah. Now we'll directly go into the different steps and different approaches to get NABL accreditation, right? So NABH accreditation stands for NABH for healthcare providers and healthcare promoters and hospitals. NABH accreditation is taken, and for laboratories and calibrating laboratories, right, we will take NABL accreditation. So what are the 10 steps? First, awareness and training, right, with the staff and management, quality policies and objectives and finalization of quality policies and objectives, gap analysis, documentation and process designing, documentation, process implementation, internal audit. Okay, internal audit. Then you have management review meetings, shadow audit, corrective and preventive actions, and final certification audit. These are the different approaches for accreditation of NABL. Let's take one by one. Let's discuss about one by one step in brief. So first, awareness training. Separate training sessions for the top management, middle management, and junior level management should be given. Then you should create a motivational environment throughout the organization for ISO 17025 implementation. So this is very important, bringing the awareness and bringing the training and conducting the training in top management level, middle managerial level, and junior management level regarding the quality standards which we are going to bring, and regarding the implementation of ISO 17025 rules which we are going to implement. And the second step is quality policy and objective. After training them, after bringing the awareness, the next important step will be to maintain, to bring the policy. That workshop with the top management and development of quality policy should be done, and workshop with the top management and middle level functional management and development of quality policies and quality objectives. So what qualities you should follow and what objectives you should follow, these set of rules should be designed and they should start executing it. Then gap analysis, third important step, understanding of all the operations of the organization, development of process map for the activities of organization, comparing the existing operations with required operations. So finding out what is the gap. So what are quality standards we are following, what are required for the ISO 17025 2005 standards, right? So what is the gap? What should be fulfilled? How many new policies should be adopted? What kind of changes you should bring in order to implement ISO 17025? So this is the gap analysis, finding the gap between existing policy and the new policy which we are going to design for accreditation of NABL. Then third thing, documentation and process designing. This is very crucial and very important step in attaining the accreditations, right? So quality manual, documenting and designing the quality manual, documenting and designing functional procedures, documenting and designing work instructions, documenting and designing system procedures and formats for everything. This documentation and process designing is very, very important. Documentation and designing the new process for quality manuals, functional procedures, even working instructions, system procedures, and formats should be prepared. Then step 5, documentation and process implementation. See, till now we brought awareness, right, from top managerial level to the junior managerial level. Then we brought quality policies and objectives. Then we identified where is the gap. Then we designed and documented the quality manuals, work instructions, system manuals, formats, and functional procedures. Now, implementation point starts. So, documentation and process implementation. Workshops should be done on the process and document implementations as per the ISO 17025 requirements, and departmental and individual assistance in implementing the new process and document should be given. So, you should provide an assistance to each and every department level, and individual assistance should be given to implement the new policies, new procedure, and new documents, so that you can easily get the accreditation of NABL. Then step 6 is internal audit. Very, very important to find out where error occurred and whether we are following complete quality standards or not. You need an internal audit. So internal audit training and examination are optional. Then successful employees carry out the internal audits. Generally an organization covering all the departments and all the operations. So a successful employees or the successful company is that which will follow the internal audit, right, in all the levels, all the departments, and in all the operations. That's very, very important, so that we can now we can understand what is our fault, right, where we are lagging behind, what gaps should be filled, and everything. Then suggest corrective and preventive actions for improvement in each of the audit department. So next important step of the audit is taking the reports of audits and suggesting what corrective measures should be taken, what improvement should be brought. Then step 7 is management review meeting. Quality policies and objectives, results of internal audit, results of supplier evaluation, results of customer complaints, and results of customer feedback, all should be discussed in the meeting, in the review meeting. Quality policy should be discussed, objectives of the quality should be quality policy should be discussed, how we are implementing should be discussed, results of internal audit should be discussed and brought into the limelight with in front of management, and they should be reviewed. Supplier evaluation should be brought into the limelight, customer complaint should be reviewed, customer feedback should also be reviewed to order to get the complete quality. Then the 8th step is shadow audit. So a replica of final certification audit and finds degree of compliance with the ISO 17025 standard audit. So a shadow audit should be done and replica of the final audit, final certification, and it should check each and everything. It gives an idea to the employees about the conduct of the final certification audit. Then corrective and preventive actions. On the basis of shadow audit conducted in the last step, all the non-conformities will be assigned corrective and preventive actions. So depending on shadow audit results, we will do whatever and wherever corrections are required in whatever department necessary. Then check well. This check will ensure that all the NCs are enclosed and the organization is ready for the final certification audit. And at last, there will be final certification audit. Upon completion of various stages of accreditations, audits, and audit, your organization will be awarded the accreditation. So this is the simple way of getting the NABL accreditation. Okay, so this is the procedure and this is the 10-step method to get the NABL accreditation. What are the different steps? Step 1, bringing awareness. Step 2, developing quality policies and objectives, finalizing. Step 3, and identifying the gap analysis. Step 4, documentation and process designing. Step 5, documentation and process implementation. Step 6, internal audit. Step 7, management review meeting. Step 8, shadow audit. Step 9, corrective preventive actions of the shadow audit. And step 10 is the final accreditation certification work. Okay, so this is the procedure of getting NABL accreditation. Okay, got it? Any issues? So there are some other terminologies also which you should learn in the NABL accreditation. So we have seen this chart earlier, as NABL board is basically governed under the Quality Council of India. You have also NABH board, National Accreditation Board for the hospital and healthcare providers. You have NABCB board, NABET board also, right? So these are the national accreditation boards for education and training, right? And National Education Board for the certifying of the body. So you should know what is this NABL. It's basically an autonomous body, and it is registered under the Society Act in 1992 under the aegis of Department of Science and Technology, Department of India. So this NABL basically falls under the Department of Science and Technology, and it is registered under the Society Act in 1992, right? Okay, and there are a certain list of different abbreviations which you should know, like ILAC, it stands for International Laboratory Accreditation Corporation, IAF, International Accreditation Forum, APLAC, Asian Pacific Laboratory Accreditation Corporation, SADCA, South African Development Community Corporation in Accreditation, IAAC, the Inter-American Accreditation Corporation, EA, European Corporation for Accreditation, NATA, National Association for Testing Authorities, Australia, IANZ, International Accreditation in the New Zealand, and HOKLAS, Hong Kong Accreditation Services, and at last we have the NABL, that is National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories. So all these are certified under international body, that is ISO. So they'll all come under ISO only. Okay. Okay, guys. So what will be the scope of NABL accreditation? So we have seen 10-step procedures of the scope of NABL accreditation. So what is its scope? So the scope after getting NABL accreditation will be NABL grants accreditation in almost all areas of science, engineering, and medicinal testing. The international standards followed here are ISO 15189 2007 for medical testings, ISO and IEC 17025 for testing and calibration, and ISO 17043 rules are followed for the PT providers. So these are the rules followed. And scopes, you can see testing laboratories, we have already seen it, calibration laboratories and medical laboratories. In medical laboratories, clinical biochemistry, clinical pathology, genetics, cytopathology, hemopathology labs, right? Immunopathological labs, histopathological labs, microbiological labs, serological labs will get accreditation with its NABL logo, right? You can see on the right corner the logo of NABL also here. Then calibration laboratories and testing laboratories, biological testing laboratories, chemical, electrical, electronic, fluid mechanical, non-destruction, all these laboratories can get this. So certification versus accreditation. What is the basic difference between the certification and accreditation? So certification is comprehensive evaluation of process system, production event, or the skill typical measurement, right? Typically measured against some existing norm or the standard. Whereas accreditation is a formal declaration by the neutral third party that the certification program is administered in a way that it meets relevant norms of standard and certificate program. So certification is evaluation of process system, products, event, skills typically measured against some existing and normal standards. Whereas accreditation is a neutral third party will assure that these boards are following all the norms laid by the certification. Certification does not make any statement about the technical competence of the laboratory, whereas accreditation uses critical specifically developed to determine technical competence of the laboratory. Right? Example, ISO is a certification and NABL is an accreditation. So this is basic difference between accreditation and certification, right? What benefits you will get, like we discussed earlier. Now we have seen what is NABL, where it falls under international scenario, and what controls basically in our country. Then we have seen different 10-step approach for the NABL accreditation also. Let's see what are the benefits. Customer can search these laboratories, like we discussed earlier. Customer satisfaction will be there, right? Customer confidence will be there. Customer gets serviced by the credential staff, saving in terms of time, money, and it also reduces and eliminates the need for retesting, right? And NABL, you can search, anyone can search your laboratory in the NABL website, because there it will be enlisted. So these are the benefits of the NABL accreditation, right? Customer can search the laboratories, customer confidence in reporting, customer get services by the credentialed staff, and you can save the money and the time to prevent the retesting. Uses of NABL symbol, the symbol you are seeing in the right corner is the NABL symbol. The accredited laboratory can issue test reports bearing accreditation body symbol or endorsement as an indication of accreditation and indication of quality. So you can use the symbol. And international recognition, lab accreditations is highly regarded both nationally and internationally as an indicator of technical competence. So it is internationally certified that testing done and reports produced by the NABL accredited lab is internationally it is accepted. And satisfaction of the staff, the staff is in an accredited laboratory is satisfied as it provides for the continuous learning, good working environment, leadership, and good salaries and all. Benefits of accreditation laboratory: continuous improvement chances there, systemic control of the lab work will be there, benchmark with the best laboratories, and rise in the business will be there. And then it raises community confidence in service providing by the laboratories. And finally, accreditation provides an objective system of implementing by insurance and the third parties. Okay, so these are the things. In next video we will discuss about other things like good laboratory practice. Okay, so this is about accreditation steps. We already discussed the 10 steps of accreditation. That's it for this class. In next class, in next video, we will discuss about the good laboratory practice. What is good laboratory practice? What are the steps and what are its benefits? This is about NABL accreditation benefits and different steps. Okay.